listening to the Fishing in Florida show every Sunday morning from 8 to 10 on the WCET radio network. And now, from the Sunshine State, transmitting from Palm Beach County off the southeastern coast of Florida, your host, Riscala.
Good morning, good morning. It is the Fishing in Florida show. An honor and a privilege to have you listen in. This morning I have Carolyn with me. Carolyn is with Atlas Trax. If you want to protect what you love to the max, who are you going to talk to? Carolyn at Atlas Trax. Welcome, Miss Carolyn.
Well, good morning to all of our listeners and happy Sunday.
It is a gorgeous day out there. I was out with the dog this morning, nice and cool. It was almost like air conditioning out there. We had a couple of days last week where it was just gorgeous. Oh, my gosh. A couple of them were really cold, but a couple of them were just right. Oh, my gosh. We went out and walked in the morning. It was like literally like being in air conditioning. It was like 71, 72 degrees out. And it looks like it's going to be another gorgeous day today. It is going to be warm. The high for today is, I think they're calling out for about 85 degrees. So I'm laughing because one of my kids called me and said, snowing. Well, you just go on and keep your snow. I'll just keep my sunshine. Yeah, snowing. Can you imagine it's snowing somewhere?
Well, is he up in New York? Are they up in New York or where are they?
Wisconsin, I think it is. Yeah, Wisconsin.
Ooh, there's supposed to be a good snowstorm going there and a pretty major one coming up the coast to, I think, New England, up north, New York next week. Wow.
So, well, we have other things we can concern ourselves with, like a nice, gorgeous day. It's going to be really good. So I took a look at the map, the radar map. Radar map is clean. There's nothing going on anywhere in the state of Florida. We got the whole state with literally maybe one little thing happening just north of us around Port St. Lucie offshore. Other than that, there is nothing else happening in the state, so it looks like it's going to be a gorgeous day today. The let's see, the beach report. The beach report says waves are going to be very few. Where am I? Lost it here. A possible, you may see some man o' war or sea lice, but the threat is very low. The beach conditions are perfect today. Little to no rip current. So if you're thinking about going to the beach, today's the place to go. According to the NOAA weather radio, we have southeast winds around 5 knots today. Seas will be around 2 feet. Intercoastal waters will be smooth. So it's a gorgeous day for the boats. My gosh. And let's see what else we got. The tide predictions for today. We got a high tide at 12:11. Low tide at 12:11 this morning. Low tide at 6:46 this morning. Next high tide will be 12:57 this afternoon. And, I got it. Wait a minute. They're listing it backwards. Okay, let's try that again. Low tide was 12:11 a.m. High tide is 6:46 this morning. Low tide, the next low tide will be 12:57 p.m. And then the next high tide will be 6:55 p.m. So we're in high tide right now, going to be high tide for a little while. You're going to get out there and thinking about doing some fishing. Gorgeous day, just a gorgeous day. Don't hold back. Let's get out there and get your lines wet. Right, Carolyn?
Absolutely, and I have to tell you, I cheated a little bit. I'm lucky enough to have a boat in our backyard, but it usually has a full cover on it with very heavy beanbag chairs. So I was smart. When Chris laid down a little bit yesterday, I took the whole cover off. So when he wakes up this morning, he has no excuse to not just drop it in the water and go.
I love it. Chris, can you come over here for a minute? See that out there?
Yeah. Actually, I'll tell you now. Now, let me tell you what. That cover is so heavy. It's a 33-foot boat, and if you can imagine, full canvas all the way to the water line.
Wow.
With heavy beanbag chairs. There's been a couple times that thing almost pulled me in the water, but you just brace your legs against the side and you just pull and hope that you're heavier than the beanbag chair. So it's pretty funny, pretty precarious to do it one person at a time.
You know what that's called, right? It's called
crazy.
It's called commitment.
Commitment to go fishing.
Yeah, either that or be commitment. Be committed.
Let me tell you, that thing gets a little hairy when you got a hurricane ripping through, because not only do you have to, jump on a boat lift with no safety stairs to, save covers or whenever they're starting to fly around with hurricane winds, it is, gets a little slippery up there. So, but yeah, she's stripped and ready to go, and I'll tell you what, I'll be in that water at 10:30.
You lucky girl. Did you do any fishing this last week?
No, actually, just a lot of busy catch up work. You know, all of us running small businesses, as our listeners know, you got to kind of be there and take care of business. And hopefully, I'm going to try and get out on Wednesday.
Oh, great. Well, if you go to Daytime Lines, I wish you luck. I was going to go do some fishing this last week, but the situation didn't work out. It was just too long to get into. It'd be more than the whole show to explain it all. But yeah, we were trying to go do some fishing last week and didn't end up doing that. But anyway, we ended up looking at some gorgeous properties, really, really nice properties. And one of them, about maybe a quarter of a mile away, had a really nice lake. But I'm not really a lake guy. I never really have been a freshwater guy. Saltwater has always been my love. I can't get enough of the saltwater. Although I do occasionally fish in the freshwater. I just don't do as good in fresh. Yeah, I think that's probably why. It has to be a skill. Let me back up a minute. There has to be a greater skill set, I believe, if you're going to fish freshwater. They're a little more picky than the saltwater fish are. In saltwater fish, I agree
100%, because even when you're fishing, dragging baits out offshore, at least you got a little bit of water underneath you. You know, you're fishing in 80 feet or so. I'm terrible at freshwater because anytime I throw a plug, I end up with a hook full of seaweed and weird stuff from the bottom and a shoe. I can't tell the difference between a bass and the bottom, and I need to really hone my skills. Maybe I'll come up there. We'll go out there and see what we can do. Have a little competition with the kids and see what we can do.
I'll tell you, we have canals and lakes all over the place where I'm at, and they had these beautiful looking fish. I can't remember the name of them, but they're just very colorful. Of course, I don't think I'd ever eat one of them, but they're very pretty. And when I took my grandson and my granddaughter fishing, we used worms. And it gets a little messy when you're dealing with the worms, but they pulled up a couple of these fish and their eyes were like golf balls. They just couldn't believe how pretty this fish was. And there were about a half a pound, 3/4 of a pound. So it wasn't like a little bitty thing, but I think that's another thing about freshwater around here. The fish to my knowledge, they don't get really big like they do out you can't catch a swordfish. You can't catch a sailfish or a swordfish in size fish in the lakes that I'm aware of anyway. I mean, up north I've seen some, up north in the lakes they got some really big fish in the freshwater lakes. I mean, some seriously big fish. Sturgeon,
well, yeah,
I think.
If you go up to any of the Great Lakes, those things are, longer than the eye can see. Probably, I think some of them are wider than getting to the Bahamas, and they've got some pretty huge fish. Not to mention, those folks are even fishing in the wintertime, cutting holes in those huge ice and driving the cars out there. So I know there's some big stuff out there.
That's some crazy stuff, isn't it? They pitch up a little tent, from what I've seen. They drive their cars out on a lake. They cut a hole in the ice, and the hole is covered by the tent, and they fish inside the tent, and they pull up some seriously big fish. I mean, one guy pulled up a fish. It had to be at least 40 or 50 pounds. This thing was 3 or 4 feet long. Huge. I never realized that they got that big. But and they were saying, well, this isn't even, they get even bigger than this. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah, I would have a little bit of anxiety about driving my big truck out on the ice, now drilling some holes in it, and then dragging out a wood house that has a wood stove.
Oh.
I'd be a little bit nervous about that truck.
I'm telling you. And as the ice slowly melts. But you know what?
You hear that creaking sound of that ice breaking.
I have seen some of those places where the ice is like 1.5 feet thick. It's unbelievable how thick it is. And for them to cut through it, I mean, I've seen them where they'll bring along a chainsaw, and they'll cut through the ice with a chainsaw. And when they get the piece cut out, it's like it's like 1.5 feet thick ice. That's unbelievable. All the ice that's there. So that's not something we have to worry about here in South Florida, fortunately. Our greatest dilemma here in South Florida is just to make sure you don't get rained on. We don't have to worry about the cold too much. We definitely don't have to worry about the snow. We are not going to have any ice that I'm aware of. But we do get liquid sunshine from time to time, so you got to be aware of that. And it looks like a gorgeous day today. According to the weather forecast, it looks like it's going to be a sunny day, up in the 80s today, Carolyn.
82 is what I saw. A perfect beach day, fishing day, boating day, biking day. Anything to get outside and get some fresh air. And I'll tell you, you mentioned the cool weather last week. We have a little chimney in our house, a little fireplace, and we cap it off during hurricane season, so we can't burn anything. And boy, did I want to put some logs in there the other day, but we couldn't. I was kind of bummed out. So, but yeah, it's going to be a gorgeous, gorgeous day to do anything outside.
You lost me. Why can't you burn something in there?
Well, what we do is we cap off the spark arrestor so that the rain doesn't come in during hurricane season.
Yeah, so it plugs up the chimney.
So if we burn something, it's all coming. All the smoke's going to come right back in the house.
It's not a good idea.
Yeah, that's on the honeydew list. But pretty good days to make some fires.
That's a good way to check your smoke detectors. Make sure your smoke detectors are working.
Yeah, it's a great way to do that. And with a firefighter in the house, that's pretty funny.
That is ironic, isn't it? Oh, my gosh. Well, looks like it's going to be, like I said earlier, it's going to be a gorgeous day. One of my favorite things to do on a day like today, since I don't have a boat anymore, I think I may wander over to one of the bridges and do a little bridge fishing and see what we can come up with up underneath the bridges there. Let's see. I don't have the log in front of me, Carolyn. Who is, we've got...
Joe Senembrino from Blue Seas Fresh Fish is supposed to call in and a hand angler sword fisherman.
Oh my gosh, yes! And if we get lucky here, we'll hear from we'll hear from Betty Bauman. Betty Bauman is with Ladies Let's Go Fishing. I asked her to call in this morning. Normally we have Robert on right about now. Robert is gone. He's going to go do some fishing. Him and a friend of his are going to go out there and wet the lines and see what they can do. So we'll hear from him next week. Who else have we got coming up?
Well, we have Captain Deb, and Captain Deb I actually just met by phone last week. She fishes flew up to fish from Key Largo to fish with Wanda last week in Louisiana, and then get this, then she went back home, and I got a crazy phone call from Angelia, who's always on at the end of the show, who had just by chance met and was hanging out with her.
How crazy is that? How crazy is that?
So, and both of those girls are licensed captains. They both run charter businesses. They're woman-owned businesses. So hopefully all three of us are going to get together and fish some tournaments down there. But she's going to be on for the first time.
It'll be
we have Mike Simko, so he's the kitefishing.com expert. And Leiza Fitzgerald, she's going to be there. And then, of course,
with
Angelia.
CCA, yep. Well, I think we have Betty on. Betty Bauman is with Ladies Let's Go Fishing. I like to have Betty on because she promotes, like I love to promote, lady anglers. Good morning, Miss Betty.
Good morning. Beautiful day.
Hi, Betty.
Hi.
So where
are you in the world today?
Yeah, what's the latest and greatest?
Yeah, I'm actually in the office working on our next virtual meeting, which is Tuesday, and we're giving away a trip to Cancun.
Wow.
Some Costa sunglasses, and these virtual, and some frog talk. So these virtual meetings are a great way to get ladies who are thinking of fishing and can't get out, to keep them excited about fishing and bring them back into the fold. I have ladies that I haven't really seen much of since maybe the 90s that take these virtual meetings and then they start showing up at our seminars.
Wow. Well, we mentioned earlier, as we mentioned just about every show, there is a good reason why you want to deal with people with small companies, and you are the testimony to that this morning. It's Sunday. Most people are taking a day off. This young lady is at work. So this is the advantage of dealing with a small business. We don't necessarily take a day off. If the work needs to be done, we know it's up to us, and we get it done and get out of the way.
Yeah, I've hardly had a day off. I don't know. It's been a lot of months. But our new Shearwater boat's coming in, so that's why I'm working hard, because I want to take a couple days to go fishing once that comes in.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and it has misters on the T-top, but that's what I'm so excited about.
Oh, cool. How neat is that? Wow.
Oh, that's really cool. And what is it? Does it draws off the freshwater tank?
Yes. When it gets hot in Florida, and the worst is when you're loading up all the lures and you're sweating to death, and you can just turn those misters on, keep cool. And also, when you're trolling, sometimes it gets kind of hot, especially if you're trolling in the same direction of the wind. And so it'll be nice to have something different with some relief.
Wow, that's awesome. Remind our listeners, what length boat? Is it a flat boat? Is it a bay boat?
It's a shearwater. They're out in Groveland, Florida. It's a bay boat, 25-foot bay boat. It's a 250 XTE. And what happens is, the industry helps us. Everybody gives discounts. Some people, sounds like Lowrance is sending a free unit. Taco Metals is sending outriggers. But what that does is allow us to have the boat as a bit of a fundraiser, to help with our office expenses because like I say, we work year round.
Wow.
And you're taking delivery when?
Hopefully next week. Magic Tilt's going to pick it up, take it to Tampa, get the trailer. For a woman, it's a lot of work ordering a boat, by the way.
I can't imagine. Gee.
Well, you've got, I'll say, Bob's jack plate. They're doing the jack plate. Well, what has to come with the jack plate and how big of a jack plate? I'm like, oh my goodness, how do I know all this? Will the Lowrance unit fit on the T-top? Then, got an ICOM radio, a Shakespeare antenna. Well, will that all fit on the console? Will it take two power poles? Power poles providing those, or then where does the swim ladder go? There's just a lot of, what kind of power does this boat need? I'm getting a Mercury, a 350 Verado. Well, there's Verados, there's ZTSs, some come with steering. I don't want to go on and on, but there are just, it's time consuming. There are a lot of decisions to make when it comes to buying a boat.
I had no idea it was all that. Of course, it's been probably 4 decades since I've had to buy a boat, so I'm sure it's completely different now than it was then. I had no idea all that stuff was involved in it, and it sounds like it's very, what's the word I'm looking for? It requires organization, a lot of organization, and I think of somebody like you when it comes to organization because of what you've done with the ladies. You literally take ladies and teach them from tying the hook to cooking the fish. I mean, there's nothing left out in between. How to cast.
I should do a class on how to buy a boat, but all boats are different. And the bigger the boat, the more decisions to be made. Do you need a generator, for instance, and how big? I mean, it makes me nervous because I'm a little bit over my knowledge limit, but you have to have like a network of people you can go to, or trust the manufacturer, the dealer. Just say, I'm not sure what's really going to work best on this boat. And then you got to figure out what's the ride going to be like. There's dead rise. There's a stepped hull. And sometimes you don't really know till you put it in the ocean and let her rip.
Well, I had a Wellcraft, and it had the step hull. And it was a fairly good riding boat. It was 24 foot. And I don't think I'd ever been out more than 4 foot seas. It got to be too much work to stay standing in anything more than 4 feet, but it did ride fairly smooth for a smaller boat, for a 24-footer. It did ride fairly smooth, so I kind of like the step hull versus the deep V hull. The deep V hulls seem to do a little more bouncing up and down. It's just my opinion. I may be completely wrong about that, but that's when I noticed other boats with deep V hulls, I noticed a lot of up and down in the front. With the step hull, it did the same, but not quite as severe. So I don't know if that helps you or not. So what you're getting, are you getting a deep V or are you getting a step hull?
I'm getting a bay boat with the step hull. The step's on the outside. And what that does is gives you extra lift and economy because it makes like air underneath.
Yep.
The way it interacts with the ocean.
Yep.
So I did work for Wellcraft back then, probably when you had it. I did
my
marketing when we were working with Don Johnson and Miami Vice and making all those Miami Vice scarabs.
Now there's some. Oh boy, I could tell you something about Miami Vice.
Well, I met him. He came to our dealer meetings.
Wow, I was crazy about wanting to be in the movies back then. I don't know what got into me, but I wanted to be in the movies so bad. So I got a hold of a what do they call him? Talent scout or talent. I don't even remember what they call this person. And they got me a spot on Miami Vice. I was supposed to be in the back of a van. I was going to be a drug dealer in the back of a van. I was supposed to push the doors open and shoot at them with a machine gun, and they were going to kill me there on the spot. And it didn't go through because I couldn't get the union thing. I couldn't get into the union thing quick enough, so it didn't go through. But yeah, I had my chance at fame, being a drug dealer of all things. And I was married at the time, and my wife says, "I don't want you going on that show pretending that you're a drug dealer because people are going to get the wrong idea." And I did look like a drug dealer. I had the beard, and I had, just all the things that drug dealers would have, except I wasn't a drug dealer. That was my claim to fame way back then. I had an opportunity, and right down the toilet it went.
The Miami Vice was the most incredible marketing opportunity for performance boats. And I can tell you, we sold, I don't know if it was 100 of those 36 Scarabs with the same paint job.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, everybody wanted one. And then they wanted different size Scarabs with that purple and blue. Time-consuming paint job. I mean, I loved working in the factory, walking in the factory with media. It was just incredible times. We were building 10,000 boats a year, 50.
Wow. I had no idea. Well, I
did press releases for everyone.
I was involved with the 3M company, and the 3M company made a product that was very popular in the marine industry. It was called, what was it called? It was called, I can't remember what it was, 5200 something.
I remember that. Yeah.
And this was the craziest thing I'd ever run into. Now, most people think about, well, if you're going to glue something, you've got to let it sit out in the air and let it dry out so it'll glue, so the glue can set. This stuff was so bizarre, it set underwater. So in order for it to set, you put water on it. That's why the marine industry loved it so much. And it was a caulking compound that would fill wide voids and stuff like that and retain its... I can't think of the right word. Its integrity. Retain its integrity for 50 years or so. It wouldn't break down like other caulking stuff would, and it was impervious to salt water. It was amazing. So because of this, I got to visit quite a few different boat manufacturers. I went to Bertram. They were making some gorgeous yachts. Mako Marine was another one I went to. Just about any one of them that were in the Miami area, I had the opportunity to go visit and see the manufacturing of the boats. It was amazing to watch some of these people. I think it was Mako that I was at. The boats are put into a mold by hand. It's all done by hand. It was amazing how these people were able to get these boats onto the mold and off of the mold and just what they do to them. It was just again, it was just an amazing thing. So it was a very enjoyable experience for me to have to be able to have that opportunity to see all these boats and see how they make the boats. And
the land of woven roving. I used to go in a factory all the time. I loved the smell of fiberglass. That was the birth of somebody's new boat.
Yes. I remember that all too well. All right, my friend. Well, I want to thank you for calling in. I know you called in a little early, and I appreciate that because we were supposed to have Joe on right now, and I didn't hear from him, so he may have actually gone out fishing. He's our Carolyn. He's a sword man, right? He's a swordfish man.
Well,
good morning,
yeah.
guys.
Hey, Deb, we'll be right with you. But yeah, Joe is a swordfish, and then he also has the fresh fish company. So yeah, absolutely, and I'll check on him later, make sure he's all right. But Wanda, one quick question: what color boat are you getting?
This is Betty. I'm getting a mint color.
Oh,
and
nice.
the upholstery is going to be white with mint attachments and mint on the console. It's a beautiful color. I was between light blue and mint, and I was like, you know what? Mint looks really good on the water.
Wow.
Well, congratulations on your new boat.
Amen.
Thank you. And I'm working our freshwater seminar, by the way. Don't let me go yet. Is February 20th, and I've been working on that at Bass Pro Shops. It was supposed to be at the IGFA. They're still closed. So Bass Pro Shop said, yeah, you can have it there. We're going for peacock bass.
Cool. Well,
So
if you want more information about what Miss Betty does, you can find her online. It's ladiesletsgofishing.com. Is that correct, Miss Betty?
That's right. They can sign up. And get raffle tickets by Tuesday for this Cancun trip or a pair of Costa del Mars or some Frog Talk ring gear.
Awesome. Betty, you're the only one that I know of that goes through all these extensive things to show the ladies, not to be intimidated, to have the knowledge, to teach them one-on-one sometimes if required, and literally from tying the knot to cooking the fish. There's nothing left out in between. How to tie the knot, how to put the line on, how to cast, what baits to use.
How to fish. Don't forget that. They get to fish.
Yep.
And then Bass Pro Shops, they're going to be fishing for those
excellent
beautiful peacock bass, which are only found pretty much in South Florida. People fly in from all over the world to South Florida and other countries to catch
just peacock. To catch that peacock bass. Yep. All right, my dear. Well, thank you again. I greatly appreciate it. I wish you an awesome day. It's Betty Bauman with LadiesLet'sGoFishing.com. Let me give Carolyn an opportunity to say goodbye to you, and we'll be right back.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks for having me on, Carolyn.
Betty, have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Can't wait to see you.
Okay. Catch him up. Bye.
So long, Betty. All right, that was Betty Bauman, and she is with Ladies Let's Go Fishing. You can find her online, LadiesLet'sGoFishing.com. I totally, wholeheartedly support lady anglers, and the reason I do that is because growing up, my mom loved fishing, and I really believe that was a vital component in keeping our family together. We would do it all at the same time. We'd all experience the same experience, but each of us had our own little part, and because of that, we had, if you will, skin in the game, if you will. And I really think it was part of the ability of our small family, small, close-knit family to stay together, to go out there and fish. We all do it. We all enjoy it. We all play our part. And so this is why I try to promote ladies anglers, because they're a vital component of our community here. So I think we have Captain Deb on, and we also have the Florida Salty Cowgirl. She's kind of in the background listening there. So welcome, ladies. I appreciate it. Let me go to Captain Deb first. Welcome, Captain Deb. She's out there on the reef somewhere.
Yeah, I think she's out fishing. She was going to duck in to try and get into some cell area, but absolutely. So we got Cap and we got Angelia. And we have Angelia too.
Deb is in the cabin out on the charter right now. She was hoping for everything to go well, so let's hope she comes on.
I'm here, guys. I'm trying to get up to the bow of the boat so you guys can hear me. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah. You know what? This is just like the other night. I have to tell our listeners. So Angelia calls in all the time, right? And Captain Deb was a great support for me last week and a half when my father passed away. Just by social media, Facebook, and calling, checking on me. Turns out that Captain Deb went up to fish with our great friend Wanda in Louisiana. And the other night, I get a phone call from Angelia, who by chance ran into Captain Deb, and they were hanging out.
Small world. Small world.
It's a very, very small world.
Two amazing women that are also captains that also run their own charter business.
Amen.
So I am thrilled to have them both on.
It is truly an honor to have you on. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Captain Deb.
Yeah, well, I run a charter company called Blue Water Girl Charters, Key Largo. I started fishing in the Keys when I was around 5 years old and with my parents, and fell in love with it. I went and I worked as a nurse for 15 years, and then I decided one day that I just wanted to go fishing. So I came to Isla Mirada, ended a job in a tackle shop, Bud Mary's Marina, and the story's history. So, I enjoy my life every day. I do what I love to do, and I want to promote women to get out here and do what I do.
So you girls we just had Betty Bauman on, and you girls know her. She promotes a lot of women fishing and women's seminars and too. So we got an action-packed ladies lineup today, which I think is awesome.
That's amazing. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to meet you guys. I just went and just came back from Louisiana fishing with Wanda Stewart. What an amazing lady. Carolyn, you're coming down to fish with me, or I'm coming up there to fish with you. I think we're fishing the Four Girls tournament this year out of Isla Mirada together. Lots of things going on and getting ladies in the sport big time. And I really, really enjoy it and have a good time. And I had some mechanical problems yesterday, so the charter that I had today, I put on a friend's boat out of Bud Mary's. That's right. And I'm out here, so it's back on the reef, and I'll talk to you on the show.
That's awesome. Tell us a little bit about our boats. I think your boats. I think you have a couple, right? So if someone calls you or goes to, tell us about your boats.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a 32-foot game fisherman called the Gypsy Girl. She's out of Key Largo Fisheries. She's a great little patch boat, catch sailfish. Definitely a reef boat. But I love the backcountry. I love catching bonefish and tarpon and snook and I just I love catching both sides. And I also have a 16-foot Chaos. It's a bonefish edition. I think my love more is in the backcountry, but I'm definitely a blue water girl by heart.
So we know that you're in the Keys. What part of the Keys are you in?
I'm in the Upper Keys. I fish everything from Key Largo to Isla Mirada.
Oh, so you're right there with Miss Angelia.
Yes, I am. Yes, that's how. Yeah, she came over to a friend's house and I was there.
Oh my goodness!
She's literally across the street from me, guys. It's the weirdest thing.
She lives. Wait a minute. She lives across the street from you.
I live across the street from her. Yeah.
I can walk to her house.
It's a conspiracy.
And then we can walk to my boat, which is really cool. And I'm going to get her out there, and we're going to co-captain one day and see what we can do.
Watch out,
I'll
fish.
tell you what's great. What's great, the fact that both you girls run charters, and let's say maybe Angelia doesn't have a charter one day, and you need the help, because I know you need someone to throw a cast net and throw some lines in the water, and I'm an hour and a half away, so I can be down there with just a day heads up. But I mean, imagine the fun that we three of us can have practicing for the Poor Girls tournament.
Holy smokes!
Yeah, it's gonna be really fun. I'm so excited to do it this year, especially with my girlfriends, and there's all of us all over the country, but we support each other and we empower each other, and we can get a lot farther as long as we support each other. And
Amen. I like that. So I take it you are out on the reef today, right now, and what's happening out there?
We're catching great snapper right now. Got some good yellowtail bite going on. We've had a few grouper bites, and we're just kind of out here.
Yellowtail is something that has always eluded me. How do you catch yellowtail?
I think it's more of the mixture of the chum,
Mm-hmm.
Just like you're baking a cake, you're making chum. So
good point.
It has to do with bait, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
These fish, once you learn bait down here in the Keys, fishing can get a lot easier. But that's the key to everything is the chum mixture.
And so when you're out there fishing for yellowtail, now in my experience, the way that the guy that was with me was trying to get me to catch him, and I couldn't. It was so upsetting. He was literally 5 feet away from me, pulling in yellowtail, and I couldn't pull up spit. I pulled up real estate. That's what I pulled up. So
you got to let him eat it.
Yeah. What he was doing is he was taking sand, white sand, putting kind of like a ball around the bait, and then dropping it down with no weight on the line. And I guess the sand was to take it down. Is that what you're doing? Something like that?
Yes, that is what you do. Use the sand to cloud the water up. Yellowtail have the best vision of any fish on the reef. So you kind of got them. If your water's clear, and a lot of times it is here in the Keys, you have to fool those fish. So we do that with the sand. We make sand balls. We put the bait inside the ball.
Yep.
We make it into a ball mixture, and then that weight goes down with the bait, and then the yellowtail will eat it that way. That's the best way to fish for them.
I didn't realize the purpose of the sand was to act as a camouflage. I thought the purpose of the sand was to act as weight to take, because there wasn't any weight. It was just a hook and line, and so there wasn't any weight to take it down. So I thought, it serves a dual purpose. This is why I love doing the show. I'm always learning. So it acts as a camouflage for the bait, and it acts as a weight to take it down.
Correct. And you also have an oats in there. You have sand, oats, chum, melted chum, and stuff like that. You make it a sand ball. The oats will bring it down, but the sand is the camouflage. It kind of clouds the water up. We use it when we bait fish as well, when we're trying to catch bait on the reef, live bait. So sand works wonderful. A lot of people don't implement it into their fishing technique, but I learned the technique out of Bud and Mary's Marina, and it works wonderful.
Bud and Mary's. Oh, my God. I remember the days of Bud and Mary's. Right across the street from Bud and Mary's was a place called Papa Joe's, and I used to get such a kick out of the sign they had up front. Jumping live shrimp. Well, if they weren't alive, they wouldn't be jumping.
That's right. You get up to the bait tank every morning, they got to jump right out at you. So.
But Papa Joe's, that was my favorite place to put the boat in because that literally a hop, skip, and a jump away was the lighthouse, and that was my reference point. Every time we went out, I'd use the lighthouse as a reference
right here,
point.
I'm staring at the lighthouse right now.
Oh, I envy you.
Oh, Rochelle, I told you it was going to be good to have her call in. So, Deb, tell us, how would folks who want to charter one of those 3 boats, those awesome boats that you have, how would they get a hold of you? Your website? What's your phone number?
Yeah.
So we can.
Absolutely. I have a website, bluewatergirlcharters.com. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram, Blue Water Girl Charters. And my phone number is 305-896-3768. I have a lot of,
I was going to say, what else that Deb does is she does a lot of hunting, too. So she goes back and forth from Florida, and I got some pictures of her out hunting.
Yes, I'm in North Carolina. I'm going to start traveling a lot. I do some bass fishing in North Carolina.
Now, that's what you
call...
call...
and bend a rod. I'm going to go.
That's the kind of person that you call variable. They can go from water to land and still come up as a winner. That's pretty awesome.
Same as Angelia. She goes from Alaska to the campsite.
That's true.
to lakes up in Georgia. She's the same. You girls are chameleons.
Yeah.
That's why I fell in love with this lady when I met her the other night. So we'll be good friends.
That's amazing.
Yes, we will. We're going to be great friends. And you know, it's amazing because you don't really find another woman that loves the passion like I do. I mean, I know they're out there, but they're they're far in between. And Angelina was a breath of fresh air to me the other night. And, you know, I used to watch her when I was in North Carolina before I moved to the Keys. She's one of my heroes. I follow her online. I follow you both online. And, you know, she has been an implement part of the reason why I'm here. You know, women, you know, hey, you know, she can do it. Why can't I do it? And I'm doing it. And it's all, you know, a lot of it has to do with social media and watching these girls. So, and I was just starstruck the other night when she showed up.
You know, it made me cry, you guys. She made me totally cry the other night. So, yeah, she's awesome.
Wow.
Well, you know, and here's what happened. The girls called me at 6:30 or 7 o'clock, and I'm like, oh, what's going on with Angelia? She needs me to come find her. Where is she? And I called back. I was pleasantly surprised that it was just a fresh voice. I know that voice. So that's really exciting. I mean, you know, the two of you girls, I can't wait to come, you know, hang out with you a lot more. And an hour and a half is really real close. And, you know, both of you are doing charters. I know you can both help each other. There's no competition there. It's all helping each other. So I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I know.
I heard hell yes.
I think it's wonderful. And, you know, like Carolyn, you know, like me and you, we bonded over the phone. You know, unfortunately, I lost my father on Thanksgiving morning. And, you know, it's a sisterhood, you know, when I'm down. And I called Carolyn up, and she was there for support. And just like I was there for her. And it's just the way that we work as a sisterhood. And we'll all get together, and we're going to fish, and we're going to make some dreams come true, guys.
I know you will. I have no doubt. It's awesome when you look at the fishing community here in South Florida. They are constantly reaching out to help each other in one way, shape, or form, and it is truly an honor to be a microscopic component of that, to know that you're a small part of something that's really, really good, that really helps people. We've had people on the show that take children out, take disabled children out. We've had people on the show that take disabled veterans out. We've had people on the show that hold tournaments, and the proceeds from the tournaments go to help families. Again, it's just a constant working in the community to help each other out, and it's awesome. It really is. It's just, to me, it's refreshing to know that there are people out there that do enjoy fishing, but at the same time, they get a certain joy or satisfaction, if you will, out of helping someone else. And that's what I see quite a bit of here in South Florida with the fishing community.
So, Deb, which boat are you out in this morning?
I'm out with, that's right, Captain Johnny Alton out of Bud Mary's Marina. He has a 50-foot Evans, and He's the only Coast Guard certified boat. So if you guys want to put together a women's trip and you want to come out, he can hold up to 23 ladies, which is really fun. So we can all go fishing. He does sport fishing as well as reef fishing. My boat had some mechanical problems yesterday, so I had to make some phone calls, and my buddy Johnny helped me out, and we're out here fishing this morning, and I'm able to do this show while we're fishing. So.
God bless you. God bless you. I appreciate that. So she had issues with her vessel. Excuse me. She had issues with her vessel yesterday, and yet she's out fishing today. How do you like? That's commitment. That is commitment.
That's commitment to a small woman-owned business.
There you go. That's what it's about. Right. Again, I want to reiterate to you, to the listeners, when you're getting ready to buy something, if you have whatever it is that you're getting ready to buy in a big store, in one of these large corporations, whatever that might be, whether it's a service that you're going to ask for or whether it's a product that you're going to ask for, I ask you to please consider the small, locally owned, family-owned businesses. They're the ones who need the most help right now. I just read another article where billions of dollars went to these large corporations. Do you think they need the money? Or do you think the little guys that they're told you can't go to work and you can't earn a living? Who do you think needs to earn the money more? These big corporations or these little private family-held companies that are literally being choked to death at this point? So whenever possible, I'm asking you, please, make the decision to deal with a small, family-owned or a locally owned company. You're going to be better off. I can promise you, you're going to be better off because I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
And when I have one of my customers, they're not just a customer. They're actually part of my extended family. And that's how you'll be treated in a small business. How many times have you heard Carolyn? She'll get a call at Friday night at 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and somebody, Carolyn, I really need a tracker. Okay, no problem. Here I come. Do you think you could do that with one of those big corporate? Well, you'll have to wait until Monday when we're open. That's the kind of answer that you're going to get versus I'll be there. Give me a couple of minutes. I'll get it together and I'll be there. That's what we're talking about. That's the kind of thing that keeps America going. So whenever possible, deal with some of the small locally owned businesses. You will be better off. I promise you. And Captain Deb is one. We have Angelia is another. We have Carolyn is another. I am another. We have Carol who comes on with Mermaid Vodka is another. We have a lot of small businesses that come on and explain to people what they do. Whenever you have that opportunity. Joe, who we missed this morning, he's with the Blue Seas Fresh Fish, another small business. This is the advantage of dealing with a small business. He typically doesn't deliver to the area that I'm in, but because I asked him to do me a favor, he came up personally and delivered me some fresh seafood. It was awesome. It was absolutely awesome. These are the advantages of dealing. Do you think you could call a big corporation that sells seafood and go, hey, listen, I know I'm not in your delivery area. Can you bring me some? Sure.
You get laughed at, don't you?
Yeah, that's what you're going to get.
Yeah.
So.
What's really cool is, the Florida Keys is a lot of small businesses, from the hotels to the restaurants to the charter boats. And all the charter boats here are family-owned businesses. This is a family community, a family fleet, and the hotels as well. You can stay at a family-owned motel or hotel here and have the Keys experience, as well as eat at the family-owned restaurants, and really bring back the economy here in the Keys. We suffered a big hurricane with Irma.
Yeah.
And we're still recovering from that. And the more that we can put into this community, the more this community is going to give us out of it. This is a beautiful community. Beautiful people live here, and all they want to do is to help people have a great vacation when they come visit the Keys.
Here's something to think about. When you give into this community, when you put into the fishing community, generally speaking, around the South Florida area, you get back. You're giving back. You may be indirectly giving back, but you're giving back. If you join one of these tournaments where the proceeds go to help a family, you're out there fishing, enjoying what you're doing. You're paying a small amount to be able to do it. You may win a prize, and you'll win a prize regardless, because even if you go and don't catch anything, you still have the knowledge of knowing that you've done something that's going to help somebody else. You're paying it forward. And that's what you're going to find in the fishing community here in South Florida. Go ahead, Carolyn.
No, I was just going to check and see if Angelia's there, and I was going to ask the girls, when's the next plan that you guys are getting together?
Oh, well, I'm going to hook up with her this afternoon if she calls me when she gets in.
Oh my gosh.
That's right. We may go out on my little 16-foot chaos boat and I go chase a bonefish with her. She might like that.
I was surprised she's not on your boat right now.
Like, she's on a paying charter right now on somebody else's boat, and I respect that. But yes, I'm really looking forward to her teaching me some backcountry stuff because you guys know I'm an oceanside girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she's a blue water girl.
Yeah, I'm a blue water girl. So I'm looking forward to her teaching me some tricks in the backcountry after I've gotten to know it a little bit. So yeah,
well,
that's really.
I'm gonna encourage you girls to teach me because I've never been on a bonefish and I've never been on a tarpon, so I need to be an understudy.
Let's go! I'm excited, y'all. I am so excited to fish with y'all. I can't wait. You know, we got this tournament coming up, but we're definitely going to be fishing a lot more before then. I'm going to have a lot of fun, and we'll just go play.
And help other people. If we can raise a little bit of awareness for the breast cancer and any of these other things that we're going through, I think it would be really good to give back to the community. So I'm on board, and we'll get you girls your Pink Lady shirts too.
There you go.
That's wonderful.
Oh,
it does. It sounds wonderful. Well, guys, we are moving spots, so it may get loud in here. We're leaving the snapper hole, and we're going to go hit another one. Just right outside the lighthouse. We're in about 80 feet of water, crystal blue, clear water. It's gorgeous here.
Oh my goodness!
I wish y'all were here. If you want to book a charter with me, check out my website, Blue Water Girl Charters, and Facebook and Instagram. And I try to do some daily updates with my stories and try to keep you guys posted on what I'm up to, my adventures.
Well, thank you.
Awesome job, Deb.
Thank you, Captain Deb. And it's Captain Deb Deyo, Deyo. Blue Girl, let's back up a minute, bluewatergirlcharters.com. You can find her there, all the information that you need. Another fantastic individual helping the fishing community here in South Florida. Thank you so very much, Captain Deb. I greatly appreciate you calling in.
Absolutely. I can't wait to fish with you soon. Maybe we can set that up as well. So
you got
continue your
love
great
you,
work. You do a wonderful. I love you. All right, we're taking off. See y'all later.
God bless. See ya.
Bye, girl.
All right. And that's Captain Deb. Again, it's bluewatergirlcharters.com. You can find her online, bluewatergirlcharters.com. And, of course, we have Angelia on with us as well. And Angelia is known as the Florida Salty Cowgirl. You can find her as well. She's another one that if you want to do some keys fishing, these are the ladies to talk to. They're the people who can take you out. They've been down there for a while. They know what's going on. They know how to, like Captain Deb was describing about the sand. I didn't realize that the purpose of the sand was to act as a camouflage, huh? How about that?
I didn't know that either. I thought it was strictly weighing. But now it makes sense because those things are pretty finicky. And even when I offer them shrimp, they don't want it.
That's what I'm telling you. I was fishing right next to this guy, and I wasn't using the sand. I was just dropping my line down. He's using the sand balls, and he's pulling up fish, and I'm pulling up, real estate. I'm getting hooked up on the bottom. So is that what you do, Angelia? You do the same thing with the sand?
You know, I have evolved over the years, and I do exactly what Deb does. And what's really kind of ironic is I probably learned up Bud and Mary's as well as she did working on a boat.
Oh, my. Wow.
And but
so, Angelia, how big is the sand? How big is the sand ball that you're making? Like meatball size?
Meatball. Heck yeah. You use a regular old jig hook with really minimal weight, something that would float naked in the water, and put a shrimp on it, frozen shrimp. And then you make this mixture beforehand because it's very important. And I used to just make the mixture with chum and oats. I didn't use the sand. And then I had a guy tell me a theory. He says, your anchor heading is into the current and everything's floating out back behind you. And if you're not putting sand in your mixture, you're just using oats and chum, you're like pushing the fish back because it's all floating farther and farther behind your boat.
Good point.
He said, when you use the sand, you're actually keeping it behind your boat because it's weighted. So it's pushing all that chum and all that oats down. And the oats kind of put a big sparkly, beautiful thing in the water, which they think is bait fish, from what I understand, So the whole combination is very, very key. And when you do that combination, guys, it works. It totally works. And then the other trick is you leave the bail open on a light spinning rod and you wait for that fish to take it. When it runs, then you close your bail and start playing with the fish. But you got to wait for them to take it.
I can't tell you
crucial.
how frustrating it was for me to be literally 5 or 6 feet from this friend of mine, and he's laughing at me because I just didn't want to put I didn't want to go through the trouble of putting a ball on there and dropping it down. Why do all that? Well, now I know why you do all that, but I didn't at the time, and it was quite frustrating. Somebody just a couple of feet from you pulling up fish right and left. Literally, like every 4 or 5 minutes, he's pulling up a yellowtail, and I'm pulling up real estate. I'm pulling up bits and pieces of the bottom. I'm kidding. It's quite frustrating. I couldn't get anything. So I learned my lesson that day. You can go with somebody who knows how to do it, and you'll come up. You'll come up a winner. So if you choose somebody like Angelia or Captain Deb, who is familiar with the process and knows why they do what they do, you'll come back with fish, right, Angelia?
Absolutely. There's definitely a technique of fishing down here. And it's different with every species of fish and different times of year, what type of bait you use. It's very, very specialized down here. So having a guide makes all the difference in the world, you guys.
Amen.
You will
I agree.
You have a guide.
I agree.
So it's very important.
Go ahead, Carolyn.
So, Angelia, are you using a sandball every time that you go down for yellowtails, or is it like every third time?
Nope, absolutely every single time. And believe it or not, instead of casting, I leave my bail open. I put a bunch of line loose. I make my meatball or chum ball, whatever you want to call it, about the size of a meatball over that shrimp on the little jig. And then I wrap the line around it 3 or 4 times, and I pitch it like a baseball right off the stern.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Every single time. So when you have a charter and you're doing it, and let's say you have 4 people along the stern that are fishing like this, all I'm doing is sitting there making meatballs and wrapping them with line and pitching them like baseballs. And I teach these people the technique of leaving the bail open, let me throw it, leave it open until that fish bites it and takes it. And you'll know when it bites it and takes it. Close the bail, and then it's a fun time reeling that fish in. And yellowtail are great because they love to fight too. And by the way, guys, still sprinkling this whole mixture over the back of the boat too occasionally. So we're really chumming the water up. Deb was absolutely correct. Those fish see better than any other fish up on the reef. They have big, beautiful pink eyes, and they can see that hook. You can see them swim around and look at hooks like, haha, I'm not biting that. But this little trick, and it sounds complex, but it's really very, very easy. I prepare this whole mixture like the night before because I like the oats to get nice and saturated. Otherwise, they float. And they eat the oats too. Their bellies are full of oats when you cut them open. So, but when you do this little trick, they absolutely come to the boat. If you do this, you will catch yellowtail up on the reef.
Wow.
And it's a very successful process, and it works.
I even like wrapping the line around the meatballs. I think that's a great idea because that's a little shock cord now.
I thought that was kind of clever.
Because you pitch it here like a baseball, literally. I mean, I pitch them overhand and get them out there, and then wait for it to get bit. It's going to get bit. Between that chum, the oats, the sand, the shrimp on the hook, it's a nice little tiny jig hook. Light gear so they feel nice and big. We all know using lighter gear is going to make a fish feel bigger, but you don't want to use such light gear that you may lose some type of fish that you may catch. I've had a kingfish hit while I was yellowtailing, and he pops my line because
really?
It's not.
You hit it on the way down, you mean?
Oh, they usually hit it as soon as it'll hit the water.
Wow.
They'll hit it pretty quick.
Wow.
But the barracuda and the kingfish will eat you up sometimes.
The barracuda. I could tell you some stories about You probably are. That is the only place I've ever been in my life that I swear the barracuda are smart. We were fishing off the right there by the lighthouse one day, pulling up snappers and grunts and things of that nature, and doing a fairly good job, catching a fish every 5 or 10 minutes or so. And the last one that came up was only the head, so we knew, and of course the water's very clear, so we knew there was a big barracuda around, and we looked down in the water, we couldn't see him. The booger was up under the boat. You couldn't see him because he was up under the boat. And he would wait, he or she, whatever, would wait until we'd catch a fish, and as we're bringing the fish up, they would eat the fish and leave you the head. So this one particular day, I said, it really upset me. I said, let's just get out of here. Let's go. We'll go to another spot. I mean, my God, the reef is miles long. And so we pulled up and we cruised for a good 5 or 10 minutes. And we had to go at least a mile or so away from where we were. Drop the anchor again. We start fishing. Fishing's good. We're there for maybe 15, 20 minutes. And the next fish that comes up, it's only got a head on it. The little booger followed us. I'm not kidding you. He followed us and sat underneath the boat waiting for us to pull up fish. They're smart.
They're extremely smart. Their whole job is to eat. That's what they do. All fish, they do that. They just eat and travel. But the barracuda, they like the shadow from your boat. They know they're hidden. Anybody who's ever dove, sometimes you'll have a big barracuda, 3-foot barracuda, like right off your right shoulder while you're diving, while you're scuba diving. And you'll dive, around and move around for 10 or 15 minutes and look beside you again, and he's still there. And from what I understand, they like that being in the shadow of something.
Huh.
And so they love that shadow underneath your boat. And plus, once they realize that they've got injured fish in the water that are slow coming up, they've got you. They're going to win every time.
You can't get away from them. It kind of upset me that day because here we were trying to catch fish, and this little booger's following us. And so we picked up the line and we moved again, and we kind of got away from that time because we cruised for about 20 minutes, and we decided we were going to go out into the deep. And one of my favorite things was to drift across the drop. We would go out into the blue side where it's deep, then come across where it drops. I mean, it goes from like 30 feet to 90 feet in a matter of 100 yards, something like that?
It's different all along the entire reef ledge. Sometimes it's a gradual drop. In some places, it's an actual ledge. So it's really interesting. You have so many spots to choose from out here, and that's why our fishing is so good, because that structure between the reef edge and where it drops, it's so neat and so beautiful in every place. And then you've got wrecks right off the reef in multiple places. So those are really hotbeds for fishing. And some of my favorite spots.
Wow.
Yeah, it can be very different. And by the way, talking about fish chasing you and taking your fish, I don't know anybody who's experienced this, but you'll have a dolphin hit your first spot up on the reef or something, and a fish will not bite if there's a dolphin, a porpoise, I should say, around the boat. And because he'll get anything that gets on the hook. It's slow then at that point for them. But you'll get a dolphin that will follow you all around all day long on a paying charter.
Wow.
And the fish will not bite.
I've never had them steal a fish from me, but it's always been my experience. If they show up, you can forget the fishing. There's not going to be any fish around.
Yeah, the fish will not bite when they show up because the fish know they're dead. I mean, you could fool them with a hook, but a dolphin's never going to fool them. They're going to hole up, and they are not going to bite. So, yeah, the dolphins are amazingly smart, too. They will follow you around all day long, kind of like that barracuda.
let me tell you guys what. I have never in my life, but last year, caught flying birds that were diving on my bait. They would actually pick up my bait and then get the lines tangled all in their wings.
Oh, wow.
And we literally would have to pull them in with the fishing lines, grab them by their legs as they're trying to attack us and unwind their wings. It's crazy because
I've never had that happen.
There'd be days I can't even catch fish, but I can catch birds. Don't tell me how that works.
This is an awesome story. I've done many seagulls. The seagulls are usually pretty bad. So I've done many seagulls, and I've sort of tucked them, all up with their wings and their feet and everything, like underneath one arm, like a football. I tuck them all up, and then I work the hook out with my other hand if I can. Well, darn if I didn't catch a dang pelican in my line one day.
Gosh.
You do not the wingspan on a pelican until you get one in your hands, and that thing beat me to death in my face with his wings until I could get him underneath my arm to work that hook out.
they got like a 5 or 6 foot wingspan. They're pretty big.
It would have been like awesome comedy video. And I just didn't stop until I had him because I was getting that hook out of him, But yes, like you say, Carolyn, then he's wrapped in the line too. The line's all wrapped around his wings and stuff, which is typically how you get them. A lot of times they will bite the hook, but more times than not, they'll swim through your lines, dipping at the bait. and they'll get the line tangled around their wings, and it's just really icky. But yeah, it's pretty fun, isn't it, Carolyn?
Yeah, especially when you just get your 6 lines out. Now you have to decide, are you circling the boat around? Can you get him down by hauling him in, or are you going to back down on him and ruin all your lines? So yeah, it's a little tricky, but they are crazy. One of them felt like I was bringing a kite in. I'm like, this is the craziest thing ever.
Welcome, my friend.
Okay, I can see that. Did you go fishing, Carolyn? Oh yeah, what'd you catch? Birds. Went fishing and I caught birds. That just, that's ironic. Crazy. All right, we're up against a break. Angelia, please, if you want to hold on, please do that. You're welcome to do that. We're going to have Mike Simko coming up with kitefishing.com, so we're going to have some information about kite fishing as well. And let's see, what else have we got coming up? We've got Leiza Fitzgerald. She's with CCA of Florida. CCA of Florida, if you don't know about them, stay tuned. She'll tell you all about them. But again, it's a win-win situation. It's a win for the environment. It's a win for the fish. It's a win for the humans. That's the kind of thing that we like to promote. So you're listening to the Fishing in Florida show. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Don't go away.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show with your host, Scala Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers. But that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on adoption, visit adoptuskids.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Thinking of moving? Before you do anything else, call Diane Whittick. She provides a concierge service. Things like having your home or condo packed and shipped. Even take care of your home repairs or upgrades. Diane has the expertise to get it done. As a seller, you will have constant contact. She will furnish you with bids on any services that might need completion. Air conditioning, plumbing, handyman, and even cleaning. Living up north and have a home to sell here in South Florida? Just give her the keys, address, and a signature. Your payment will be wired when the property is sold. That's right, Diane does it all. Thinking of buying? Diane has great listening skills. Tell her what you want, give her your budget, and like a genie, she will make your real estate wish come true. There's no regrets when you choose Diane Whittick. To reach Diane, call 561-247-5478. That's 561-247-5478.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
Do you have an unusual pet? Did you know that the Rainforest Clinic in Loxahatchee specializes in exotic pets? They see pets that other vets don't. Parrots and chickens, ducks, geese, turtles, snakes, goats, pigs, lizards, and even monkeys. Are you a beekeeper? Dr. Clubb, the first of her kind in the area? Yes, she takes care of bees as well. Dr. Susan Clubb has decades of experience and known around the world for her reputation as a premier avian vet. Located at 3319 E Road in Loxahatchee, just a short distance north of Okeechobee Road, you will find a modern clinic with in-house labs, which allow you to get your test answers quickly. You can find them online at www.susanclubb.com. That's www.susanclubb.com. Or you can reach her at 561-795-4878. It's Dr. Susan Clubb. That's 561-795-4878. The Rainforest Clinic located in Loxahatchee. 561-795-4878.
Want to give your pet the celebrity treatment? Have you heard of Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care in Royal Palm Beach? They're located just off State Road 7 and have been servicing the area for 14 years. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care is the home of the Blueberry Facial, also specializing in tartar removal with 8 years of assisting in dental procedures. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care? They're more than just about dogs. They are the only experienced cat groomer in the area. They also cater to all breeds and sizes and open 6 days a week. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care, located just north of the Super Walmart in Royal Palm Beach. You can find them at 250 Business Parkway. They specialize in shampoos with no extra charge, Flea and tick dip's also available. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care. You can give them a call at 561-793-9992. They also provide gift certificates for those looking for that special present. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care. 561-793-9992. They're located in Royal Palm Beach. That number, 561-793-9992. Call for your appointment today.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
We have ignition. Strap in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day. I just caught me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah. Fishing and blowing on.
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
Good morning, good morning. We are back. It is the Fishing in Florida Show. I am your host, Riscala. What an honor and a privilege to have you listen in and allow us to share some of these fishing stories with you. Not the stories just about the ones that got away, but stories about what we've caught as well. A couple of different ways you can listen to us. The easiest of all of those ways is to download our app. It's absolutely free. You can find the app. By the way, it's only for Android right now. We're working on iPhones. So if you have an Android, you can go to the Google Store or the Apple Store, look up WCET-FM, that's our home network, and you'll find the app there. There are no spies, no ads, and no push notifications. So, a lot of times when you download one of these things and it's free, you kind of give up some of your privacy. It's none of that happens with our app. I worked with the designers specifically so that it would be minimal, a very minimal application on your phone, and specifically so that we don't have people, spying on you, trying to follow you where you're going and give you recommendations to buy this, that, and the other. So the app is free, no spyware, no adware, no push notifications. The next easiest way, if you're on the web, go to our home network, www.wcetfm.com. You'll find a player there as well. If you're a Facebook fanatic, you can go to our Facebook page, Fishing in Florida on Facebook. Click on Contact Us. That's another way you can listen to us. If you have the TuneIn application, you can go to Marina Rock Radio. A big thank you to Marina Rock Radio. This is Yacht Rock's sister station in Miami. They are one of our affiliates. A big thank you to them. They are a TuneIn station. So if you have the TuneIn app, you can go to Marina Rock Radio, and you can find us there as well. Again, it's easy to listen to, and I am ever so grateful for each of you that take the time to listen in and allow us to share with you some of the things that we have. Let's see. My co-host this morning is Carolyn. If you want to protect what you love to the max, you got to talk to Carolyn at Atlas Trax. The coffee's kicking in. And I have, along with Carolyn, I have the Florida Salty Cowgirl, Angelia, and she's down in the Keys. And I also have... Excuse me. I also have Mike Simko with kitefishing.com. So let me welcome Mike on to the show. Welcome, Mike. Thank you for taking time to call in.
Good morning, Riscala. Carolyn, how are you guys?
Go ahead, Carolyn.
Good. Absolutely. We have Angelia. She's a captain down on the Keys. She called in, too, because she wanted to hang out with you, Mike.
Yeah, go ahead, Angelia.
All right.
Good morning. How are you, Kite Fisher?
Hey, great, Angelina. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
Now, Mike, Angelia is down there in the Keys. Correct me if I'm mistaken, Angelia, but I think she wanted to know a little bit about kite fishing, so I asked her to hang on.
Perfect.
Oh, I'm going to come kite fishing with before it's all over.
That'll be great. So any particular questions that you have, or do you want me to just start from the top?
No, you can start from the top. We have spoken before, and you were so informational for me. But for everybody else, I'm sure you can start from the top. I've done a little research since talking to you last, and I'm definitely interested. I want to play.
Yeah, and Mike, so Angelia runs a 33 Hydrosport for her charter business down there. So she's got the perfect setup, the perfect boat to fly kites.
I used to... speaking of those 33 Hydrosports, I fished for years in the SKA and the FLW Kingfish tours on the 33 Hydrosport. It was great times, man. That's a nice boat.
It's a fantastic boat to fish off of. You really can't beat it.
Yeah,
So,
and just by chance, I have one.
Is that right? Awesome. Well, this is the time of year, and I'm telling you, this year, as opposed to some of the past few years, the sailfish are really cooperating. We've had a tremendous bite of sales for the last month, I would say. I'm based in Palm Beach County, so what we start doing is I have friends in Daytona, and they start telling me when they're biting hot and heavy up there. They catch them on the troll, pretty much on the western edge of the Gulf Stream up there, which can be as much as a 35-mile run or even more. So they run out there, they troll for them, and when they start biting there, we start waiting for cold fronts to push sailfish south. And man, they've been cooperating. So I would say since roughly first week of November, with the first couple cold fronts, they show up around the Loran Tower, Stewart, Loran Tower, and really County Line Road, which is the dividing line between St. Lucie County and Palm Beach County, is where it goes from trolling for sailfish to kite fishing for sailfish. It doesn't have to happen that way. It's just the way that it's evolved over the years. And so you'll see a lot of guys up around the Loran Tower in Hope Sound flying kites, and then you'll see a bunch of trollers around them. So for me, when they start to show up around the Loran Tower, it's about a 15-mile run. We'll run up there, conditions willing, put the kites up, especially during right preceding that first little cold front. We'll throw the kites up, and as I said, around the beginning of November, that's the time that we start to shake down the boats, shake down the kites, make sure our live wells, the pumps are all right. And I'm still in the middle of that. I've done about 10 sailfish trips since November, and every trip starts to reveal a little bit of a weakness in my gear. You'll find out that a reel that you thought was serviced wasn't serviced quite right. Tight reel starts to stick. Maybe on some of my older kites, I've got aluminum centerpieces, and those might crystallize and start to crack. Well, on the first big gust of wind, you'll find the spar that'll separate from the centerpiece. So all these little things are parts of the puzzle that, sometimes visual inspection doesn't pick them up. You have to get out there and physically exercise the equipment. So we've been going through that, man. I've got 4 kites now. They're getting repaired in those trips. We've had, I'm just going through all the errors, but I've had sailfish come through my spread. They've wrapped up. One sailfish wrapped up 5 lines and took down one of my kites. That kite will never be found again. So yeah, we're going through it, but it's been excellent. The bite's been hot. And Carolyn, you might know that Real Captivating did really well last weekend. They came in second in the Dust 'em Off tournament.
Wow.
Yeah, those guys are great, and they forgot to call me for that ride along because I definitely want to watch how they work as a team. I know how they fish when they crew for my ladies team, and they're amazing. Not to mention the comedy show they get with us on board. But yeah, that team is fine oiled, and I definitely want to make sure I get with Wayne and jump on one of the next ones.
Yeah, they're pretty typical of a great tournament team. They fish even when they're fishing for fun. It's almost like a tournament. It's almost like a tournament dry run. So you get, maybe without all the team members, but you get a little less of the numbers of anglers and, mates and all that, but you still get all that same expertise. And you're right, it's finely tuned. I mean, they're quick, they're efficient, and that's why even when a fun day, they can catch double-digit sailfish.
Yeah, and what I love about going with them is they let the girls run the lines. I mean, they could use a little break too. They get the kites up. They let us, strip out the lines. I got to run the 39 CV last time in, all the way from we were fishing way offshore. They let me run it all the way in the inlet. That was kind of cool. So they want us to learn, which is a really cool thing about those guys. And we drink through about 104 beers every time we go. So.
Yeah. That's one thing. One thing about those big boats, like Real Captivating, they've got freezer and refrigerator capacity for every fun alcohol you can have.
It's like I tell people when you go fishing, it's better than the worst day, better than the best day at work. The worst day at fishing is better than the best day at work. There's a reason why.
Never ever forget what Travis said. Travis is the captain one time. I remember asking him, we were fishing a ladies tournament. It was 10 o'clock in the morning. And I asked him where the beer was, and he said, where the beer isn't.
Where the beer isn't.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about that boat. You got a refrigerator step going into the salon. You got the refrigerators in the salon. Then you got upstairs.
My goodness.
A couple of different beer coolers up there.
Wow.
And an ice
between
maker.
the energy drink.
Yep. This is a 62-foot Viking, and you have the ice chipper on the floor where we always put drinks.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Amazing. The thing that what intrigued me about the kites, I was ignorant. I'll be just honest. I'm straight up honest. I was ignorant. I thought kite fishing was silly. The kites are for kids. People, grown men don't fly kites. And then I met Mike. And like Angelia mentioned earlier, very educational. This is what I love about people like Mike. They have gone through the learning curve. And they're willing to share with you the mistakes that they made so you don't do it. So your learning curve is much flatter than theirs. And they don't do it specifically for money. They do it for the knowledge of knowing that they've given someone else that knowledge that's important to them, that helps them. A knowledge that helps them in something that they love doing, fishing, for this example. That's what I like about it. Angelia's the same way. Angelia will take people out and she'll kind of educate them as if they want to be. Kind of educate them as to what's going on. It's not just, well, I'll throw the line out for you and I'll even hook the fish for you and you can bring them in. How many times have we heard about stuff like that's I mean, to me, that's a waste of time. When you have somebody like Mike who, and by the way, if I'm not mistaken, you can go to Mike's website, kitefishing.com, and there's a whole slew of information there, right? Educational information.
Yeah, there's a rotation of videos which are fairly instructional with respect. I kind of rotate them on a bi-monthly basis. But so today you'll get a video which really basically shows you how to deploy the kite. Then you'll have other ones on how to set your rods, run the rings through the clips, deploy your kite, and you still haven't put a bait out yet. But literally all three of your kite baits are coming back to the boat, or kite lines are coming back to the boat, ready for you to, hook up your long gog, throw them out, medium runner, boom, pilchard short, whatever you want to do. But it basically shows you how you do that without having to go one bait at a time. Stop the kite, put the bait out. A lot of guys do that. They'll stop a kite, get their long bait out. Okay, once it's in position, then they'll let the kite out a little bit more. That becomes a little long and tedious. So really what I try to show people is it's pretty easy and simple if you just start to think efficiently and utilize some of the tools that you already have on your boat.
Again, educational. And in my ignorance, this is one of the things I didn't know. If you have a kite out there, it's not one line. It's not like an outrigger where you have typically one line per outrigger. When you have a kite out there, you can have up to 3 lines, right, Mike?
Correct. And sometimes we'll do even more. It depends on where you're fishing, how stacked up the fish are. There are certain conditions where, again, when the bite is hot, you don't necessarily want to put 3 baits on 2 kites or 3 kites because it just becomes too much action. You want to be controlled. And I always say, listen, a big team can manage a double or triple or sometimes even a quad hookup. But when you start putting so many baits out and the sailfish are really feeding, imagine getting 6 bites and these fish moving in all different directions, jumping across each other. What ends up happening is it's fun and exciting while it happens, but you end up losing a number of those fish and a lot of gear too. So it's like, I like to control things. But there are other occasions when the bite's not hot and we want to put 9 baits out. So I'll get 9 baits out because it just improves your opportunity to get at least 1 bite.
Yep.
So sometimes it's necessary to put a lot of baits out.
You're almost creating your own little school of fish out there between nine
Correct.
different baits.
Correct.
So proves to me that those people who are narrow-minded, like I was regarding kites, you're going to lose out on an opportunity, and a great opportunity at that. If you're open-minded and you think about it, it increases the odds of you so greatly. And again, like Mike says, it depends on the situation. But I know that I've been out there at times years ago when it was like nothing was going on. I thought to myself, I wish I could find a school of fish. Well, here you're almost making an artificial. So if you got 9 baits out there, that's 9 fish. That's almost like a little school of fish. You're almost manufacturing your own little school, if you will. So I lost out on that, but I know a lot better now. When we go out and we're looking at a situation like that, a kite is an absolute excellent alternative to just dropping a couple of lines out, or a couple of outriggers or something like that. Angelia, did you tell me you did kite, or you haven't? You want to do kite?
I have not. I'm the troller outside of the kite fishers up on the reef that's capitalizing on their chum slickness. So I'm that role. I absolutely love seeing them all lined up there and the kites in the air. It's absolutely beautiful. And recently, I've gotten to witness guys pulling in sailfish from the kites as I'm trolling by, and It's so fun. I'll sit down a little bit so I can watch them. I'd see 2 of them right outside the reef line the other day. It was just insane. So I know they're biting. They're out there. These guys are coming in with their flags flying proud. So they're catching them right.
So Angelia, I tell you what you should do. You should come get me on the way by in Deerfield, and we'll run up and fish with Mike one day.
There you go.
I'm thinking Deb and you and I should come do it.
Oh yeah, we'll take 3 of us.
There you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not that we're inviting ourselves.
I have a question, Angelia. When you're trolling, do you do any live ballyhoo trolling down there?
I do not do anything live. I don't slow troll, so I really don't do anything live. I use pre-rigged ballyhoos and my own personal skirts that I made through J-Cam Lures and Peter Camerano, and I've been thinking about him a lot lately. But yeah, I use skirted ballyhoo. I use some diving plugs. I'll put a pretty varied spread out there. Use planers to get some things down and work the water table a little bit. But I don't do anything live.
Gotcha.
And I should try it. I really would. I think slow trolling is kind of a pain in the butt.
Right.
But I've got to try it at some point, right?
Well, yeah. And it's a funny thing. Like different people, and it's just everybody's got their different little twist to it. I somehow 40 years ago got into live baiting, and that was just my thing. I just loved it the minute I started. And so now everything we do is kind of slow. We just and we try to do it with as much live bait as we can. So yeah, that's 1 knot, 1 to 2 knots.
Yeah, that works exactly. So out of gear, huh?
Yeah, you're kind of breaking up. You're breaking up a little bit, Angelia. Mike, I'm running out of time, but before I go, I wanted to ask you. You knew Peter, right? You knew Peter Camerano?
Peter and I were great friends. I've caught more wahoo on his lures than I think anybody's got. I loved his stuff. I have so much of it, thank God, that I while he was alive, that I'm fortunate that I haven't run out of any of it yet, but I'm getting to that point that every time I lose one, let's say cut off or whatever happens when you're wahoo fishing, it kind of freaks me out. Yeah, I was thinking about him the other day too.
The reason
all the time.
The reason I'm asking you, hang on, Angelia. The reason I'm asking you if you knew him, because I thought you did. Angelia was taught by Peter how to make the lures.
Yeah.
Well, that's a wonderful thing to learn.
Oh, it's beautiful, and he helped me quite a bit with the whole 9 yards. But I actually have a few that were still made by his hands. And when I have one of those destroyed, I kind of put it in a little shrine. Like, it's hard to just, tear it to shreds. But I also, if I lose one that was actually made by his hands and I'm getting down to the I just get heartbroken about it. Sure. So I'm with you. And anything I make will never replicate what Pete made. So he was definitely the master. He was awesome.
Yeah, well, he and I, we got a lot of stories we can share about him and how we came up with that big, heavy-headed, the big hole in the 5-ounce head. But I'll never forget when he was making me some, because he always did some colors for me, and I went down to his shop and I saw one that was really kind of cool, and I go, that's the one I want. And he goes, oh no, I can't. You can't have that, and it was yours.
Oh,
he was making that for you. He says, you can't have this combo, and I go, are you kidding me? But that's pretty fun.
How awesome. Well, Mike, thank you. As always, you've been educational, and I greatly appreciate you taking the time to come on and share with listeners some of your experiences. If you guys want more information about Mike, you can find him at kitefishing.com. You can also on Facebook as well, right, Mike?
That's right. Kite Fishing Experts, dash Mike Simko, and I'd love to hear from everybody. And listen, the information's free, but I can guarantee you going fishing isn't. So call me if you have questions.
God bless you.
Everything left in this world.
God bless you, my friend. Carolyn, go ahead and say goodbye to Mike, and then we'll follow up with Angelia. Or she put herself on mute again. That's what happened. Go ahead, Angelia.
Mike, thank you so much for telling me that story about Pete. You touched my heart, and we're definitely going to need to go kite. Blech, I am tongue-tied. We're definitely need to bring us girls up and go kite fishing with you soon.
Yep, and I'm off mute, and Mike, and you have a good day.
Awesome, you guys. Great talking to you. Have a nice one.
God bless you, my friend. Thank you, Mike. All right, ladies, we've got another lady on the line with us now. Now we have Leiza Fitzgerald, and Leiza is somebody who provides one of those win-win situations, like a lot of the small businesses that we talk about where everybody wins. Well, Leiza is with the CCA of Florida. I'm going to let her kind of explain it to you listeners, but let me give Carolyn an opportunity to welcome her, and then we'll go to Angelia. You can welcome her, and then we'll go to Carolyn.
Absolutely. Welcome to the show, Leiza. I can't wait to hear what the CCA is doing in the next couple of months.
Thank you so much, Carolyn, and I'm very excited to get back on the phone with you guys. It's been a long time. CCA is really rocking it out in many of the aspects of what we're doing with our organization, not only in the offshore and nearshore reefs to attract those wahoo and many other great pelagic species, but also on our inshore endeavors. And so, we just wrapped up an amazing tournament in Steenhatchee, Florida, the Tail and Toads Eggnog Open, where we raised almost $7,500 for our youth scholarship division of STAR, and it's just been an amazing opportunity to be able to get with so many recreational anglers and do the right thing.
Leiza, I think we had the young lady that holds, what's her name, the young lady that holds that?
Manny Altman.
Yes, we've had Manny on.
Yes.
That's great to hear that went so well for you guys. That's really, it warms my heart. That's excellent.
Well, it was great to have a super turnout from all of the recreational anglers and the individuals that came. We had a great day of fishing, a beautiful place to stay at Sea Hag. So many fantastic sponsors that supported us in providing product like Minn Kota, Hummingbird, Tower Pole. I mean, Bull Bay rods and reels, Fat Boys jigs. There were so many great raffle and auction items, and people just wrapped it up for the Christmas holiday, and were able to buy Christmas gifts, and it was just really a lot of fun. And we're moving on to some other great projects, like our working with 360 Ocean Aid in doing ghost trap roundups all over the state of Florida, as well as our still doing all of our coastal cleanup. So we've got lots of projects coming up, and if people don't know what to get someone for Christmas, it's amazing. I have lots of people buying memberships in the organization as Christmas presents. And
that's cool.
It's really a great way to get engaged in what's going on in our communities, not only from a habitat standpoint, from water quality standpoint, from recreational anglers' rights to fish. That's what our organization does. We've been around for almost 40 years, and we're the largest organization in that arena.
CCA of Florida is the only one that I've ever heard of that does this. They have a tournament. Is the tournament going to be on this coming year?
Oh, yes, sir. It's the Star Competition, Memorial Day to Labor Day, 101 days of fishing.
They're the only ones that I know of that have this category in their in their tournament. They have a trash category, believe it or not. If you go out there and you're fishing and you see some stuff, if you happen to fill up I think it's a 5-gallon drum. She'll correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, that's correct.
And you fill up a 5-gallon drum, they put your name in for a raffle. So can you imagine now, this is why I love having people like this on the show. Imagine the water gets cleaned. You get to enjoy fishing. You may win some money. The fish get to enjoy living in the water. Everybody wins in a situation like this. Not only do they provide...
Well, as you can tell, Riscala, I am on a boat.
Yeah.
Going out fishing this morning,
Hot
and I
time.
will definitely be picking up garbage. It is one of those days where we've worked all week to make this tournament happen. So this morning we're rewarding ourselves by going out on the water and doing a little fishing.
Hot dog. Well, I want to make sure I wish you tight lines before anything else. Let me give Carolyn an opportunity to ask you a question. Go ahead, Carolyn.
No, absolutely. You had mentioned Sea Hag Marina. We have had those folks on, I think once or twice, with the little bungalow style Florida Keys.
Yep.
And, I'm glad you were able to help them with a little bit of businesses.
Danielle and Charlie, the owners of Sea Hag Marina, are extremely philanthropic, and they have been very generous to allow us to have the tournament at their facility. They support us wholeheartedly, and I can tell you, when you have someone like that who works so hard, it's a small business, family owned. It's a cool place to stay, a lot of fun. So if you ever get up to Steenhatchee, check out Sea Hag Marina.
Yeah, we've heard about them from several different people, right, Carolyn?
Yeah, absolutely. And they use our trackers, our Atlas Trax trackers on their scallop rental boats.
Oh wow!
So we love working with them. I can't wait to get up there and take a jump in their pool. But they're always out there doing charity fishing tournaments, kids tournaments, fun things like that.
Wow.
Well, we have a lot of kids tournaments coming up this year and a lot of fun. So just remind everyone that there's $500,000 in prizes, $100,000 in college scholarships. That's what we were doing this weekend, was raising money for the college scholarships.
Awesome.
To date, CCA Star has awarded $600,000 in college scholarships over the last 6 years. So it has been an amazing ride and a great opportunity to really get out there and engage people. We have 7,000 anglers that fish with us. It's the largest family-friendly fishing competition in the state, and we look forward to getting with you guys and doing some updates over the summer.
Awesome. Angelia, you have a question for Leiza? She put herself on mute too. That's what she do.
I'm sorry. I would like to commend you on your garbage portion of your tournament. That is one of my
Isn't that
passions.
awesome? I love it. Yeah.
Happy.
I think that's
thank
cool.
you very much.
Yeah, what a beautiful way to encourage people to pick up garbage out of the water, because I've seen so many people that'll just ride by something. And if I can, I'm going to get something out of the water every single time. And I just love that. So, yeah, thank you for implementing that into your tournament. I think that's fantastic.
Well, this year we gathered 3,400 5-gallon buckets of trash and garbage out of the water. And our youth anglers get a half an hour of community service for every 5-gallon bucket that they gather.
That is just amazing. Just amazing. Bless you.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And I so appreciate you, Riscala and Carolyn and Angelia. I'm thankful for being on the show today. And if anyone wants to find out a little more about CCA Florida, just go to ccaflorida.org. All of our endeavors are there, and we sure appreciate new members and engaging. You don't have to be a member to volunteer and help with the environment. So get out there and do your part.
And the membership is very reasonable, by the way. And
it is. It's only $35.
Here's something that she didn't mention. They tag fish. Now, if you're a member of CCA Florida and you catch one of these tagged fish, oh my goodness gracious! It's like you just beat the one-armed bandit at Las Vegas, right?
Well, that or Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory with that golden tip.
Yeah. Yes, they offer things like boats and trailers. Oh my gosh, a wide variety of different.
Excuse me, with that golden ticket.
A wide variety of different things. So if you're a member and you catch one of these tagged fish, I'm telling you, it's like beating the one-armed bandit in Las Vegas. You're going to hit the jackpot. What are some of the things that they can win?
If you're a member and registered in the company.
No, the Coastal Conservation Association. Oh, you're out fishing. Get some air. Coastal Conservation Association is also a national group, also, right?
Yeah. Well, I think she's either getting out of range or she's having a problem with her cell phone. Give me a second. Go ahead, Leiza. No, we lost her. Yeah, she was getting out of range. Yeah, it's amazing what they do for people. Again, this is why I love supporting things like CCA of Florida. They have their own category that has, you just pick up trash and then you might win. I may be incorrect, but I think it's like $1,500. They'll put you in a raffle for winning money for doing nothing more than picking up trash. I mean, and again, who wins? Everybody wins. The fish win, the environment wins, you win because you might win money, and you're out there fishing anyway. So it's like I said, the best day at work cannot beat the worst day fishing. No way, shape, or form. Can't even come close. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show this morning, and I have the honor and the privilege of having two co-hosts this morning. I have Carolyn Stash with Atlas Trax, and I have Angelia, the Florida Salty Cowgirl. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show with your host, Scala Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers. But that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on adoption, visit adoptuskids.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Thinking of moving? Before you do anything else, call Diane Whittick. She provides a concierge service. Things like having your home or condo packed and shipped. Even take care of your home repairs or upgrades. Diane has the expertise to get it done. As a seller, you will have constant contact. She will furnish you with bids on any services that might need completion. Air conditioning, plumbing, handyman, and even cleaning. Living up north and have a home to sell here in South Florida? Just give her the keys, address, and a signature. Your payment will be wired when the property is sold. That's right, Diane does it all. Thinking of buying? Diane has great listening skills. Tell her what you want, give her your budget, and like a genie, she will make your real estate wish come true. There's no regrets when you choose Diane Whittick. To reach Diane, call 561-247-5478. That's 561-247-5478.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
Do you have an unusual pet? Did you know that the Rainforest Clinic in Loxahatchee specializes in exotic pets? They see pets that other vets don't. Parrots and chickens, ducks, geese, turtles, snakes, goats, pigs, lizards, and even monkeys. Are you a beekeeper? Dr. Clubb, the first of her kind in the area? Yes, she takes care of bees as well. Dr. Susan Clubb has decades of experience and known around the world for her reputation as a premier avian vet. Located at 3319 E Road in Loxahatchee, just a short distance north of Okeechobee Road, you will find a modern clinic with in-house labs, which allow you to get your test answers quickly. You can find them online at www.susanclubb.com. That's www.susanclubb.com. Or you can reach her at 561-795-4878. It's Dr. Susan Clubb. That's 561-795-4878. The Rainforest Clinic located in Loxahatchee, 561-795-4878.
Want to give your pet the celebrity treatment? Have you heard of Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care in Royal Palm Beach? They're located just off State Road 7 and have been servicing the area for 14 years. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care is the home of the Blueberry Facial, also specializing in tartar removal with 8 years of assisting in dental procedures. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care? They're more than just about dogs. They are the only experienced cat groomer in the area. They also cater to all breeds and sizes and open 6 days a week. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care, located just north of the Super Walmart in Royal Palm Beach. You can find them at 250 Business Parkway. They specialize in shampoos with no extra charge. Flea and tick dips also available. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care. You can give them a call at 561-793-9992. They also provide gift certificates for those looking for that special present. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care. 561-793-9992. They're located in Royal Palm Beach. That number, 561-793-9992. Call for your appointment today.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
We have ignition. Strap in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day. It just calls me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah. Fishing and blowing on.
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
All right, we are back. It is the Fishing in Florida Show. Good morning. If you're just joining us, we will have a link to the archives set up on our Facebook page. If you go to Fishing in Florida on Facebook, give us a like while you're there. It helps us retain relevancy in the searches. And you'll find there's a link there to all of our archives, which are on YouTube, which I haven't figured out how to come up in the search on YouTube. If you put Fishing in Florida on YouTube, you'll get a bazillion results, and we'll probably be number bazillion. I don't know why. I haven't figured that out. I'll figure it out one day. Anyway, several different ways you can listen to the show. The easiest of all those ways, if you download our app. Our app is absolutely free for the Androids. WCET-FM at the popular stores. You can find it there. If you have the TuneIn app, you can find us on TuneIn. We're on Marina Rock Radio. That's Yacht Rock's sister station out of Miami. If you have the TuneIn app, go to Marina Rock Radio. You can find us there. If you're on the web, of course, our home network, WCETFM.com. If you're on Facebook, if you click on Contact Us on Facebook, you'll have a direct link to the server. So several different ways, and we want to make sure, thank you to Marina Rock, who takes the opportunity, gives us the opportunity to utilize their network. A big thank you to them. And let me welcome back. Today I have a special treat today. I have Carolyn with Atlas Trax, and I have Angelia, the Florida Salty Cowgirl. I have had the honor of having both of them on for the majority of the show today, which has been a real treat for me. Thank you, ladies. I greatly appreciate it. I'll let Carolyn, I'll let you get back on first. Go ahead, Carolyn.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you what's something that's real funny. I just reached out to Wayne, who is, you've met the real captivating guys. They helped me with a couple projects. And so when Mike was on, he goes, let the radio audience know that they probably heard nothing from him because his voice does not register with the human auditory range. So that was pretty funny.
That's good. That's good. Go ahead, Angelia.
It's always my pleasure to be on the show and such great and interesting people always. So thank you very much for having me.
Oh, it's good to have you on. I really enjoy and am so grateful because you take your time on Sundays to share with us what's going on. You're kind of my Keys contact, if you will, what's going on down there in the Keys. And so give us a little lowdown. What's been happening the last week or so?
It is winter fishing on right now, guys. My favorite time of year down here to fish, and I keep saying the same type of thing, but it is just on fire. I'll reiterate what Captain Mike Simko said, that cold weather when it pushes down here, which we've gotten some pretty dang chilly nights, in the low 50s. And for us, that's cold. A high of 65 daytime, that's cold for us. But it's been beautiful with the sun out, and it pushed all the sailfish and all the wahoo and all the big kingfish down here. And believe it or not, somebody just caught a 25-pound end of the season mahi slammer too. So,
wow.
like Carolyn, they had to rub it in my face, right? But and that was actually.
I didn't say anything.
I know. I gave up this year, but the winter fishing is on. And like I said, when you go out there on the reef to do whatever kind of fish you're doing, and you can visibly see these guys reeling in sailfish, it's just so exciting. The bait running is really exciting to me right now. There's so many. I think this is the time of year that you can catch the most different types of fish in one period. You know, I mean, you could spend the weekend out fishing, and you could literally just catch tens upon tens upon tens of different species of fish. You know, with a plan A and a plan B and possibly a plan C, which is what I always have. But yeah, it's a really great time of year. Anybody who wants to come down here and sailfish, please do. Even the backcountry's on fire right now.
Wow.
So with all the bait that, it just brings the fish in. It's been beautiful. It's been a little chilly, and we've had some overcast rainy days, but that pushed that weather down here that we wanted so bad for the fishing. Even the groupers coming up like mad, guys. I mean, it's a really, really fun time of year. We're still cherry picking some lobster as well. The later in the season that lobster goes, usually they get a little more sparse, but we're still cherry picking some lobster. And so things are really good down here. It's a great time of year. So please, everybody who wants to come fishing, please come fishing down here. And we won't even talk about, I shouldn't say that. I'm not even mentioning the amount of wildlife that's in the water, stingrays and turtles and dolphins. It's just been a really exciting time this year.
The water.
And I'm really happy to get out of the backcountry and back out there doing some fishing. So
the water, for those of you who haven't seen the water down in the Keys, when you're offshore, just a little offshore, it doesn't take far. It has this like a bluish emerald kind of color to it. It's difficult for me to describe, but it is so clear. I mean, when she says you can see them, you can literally see the fish down at the bottom of the water. And you can be in 30 feet of water and still see the fish down. It's amazing. It is something to behold. It really is. It's kind of humbling to know that this is available for people down there. And all you got to do is call Angelia. She'll take you. She knows all the spots. She's been down there long enough. She knows where to go and where not to go. And she knows where the action is.
When that water on the reef, Scala, it's so crystal clear that it's like glowing. Like you said, it's emerald. Almost like glowing. And I've had, I so enjoy taking people just to show them our area, let alone fishing. That's a whole other thing. That's my passion there. But just being able to show people these things that they would otherwise never experience, I would rival us with most places in the Caribbean any day when our conditions are good. And it's been really good. And when that water is just glowing emerald up on the reef, and you can see the fish everywhere swarming the boat, and you can see conch shells on the bottom, and it's just amazing. When you can see the bottom in 30 foot of water, it's just a really, really nice. Yeah. Now, we'll make it a little harder to fish sometimes, because then they can see your bait and see the boat and see everything. And that's like we were talking about yellowtailing. When the water's really, really clear, you've got to really chum that water up so that they don't see everything. But that clear water to dive and to just be on it, it's amazing. It really is.
I am curious.
So what is...
Go ahead, Carolyn. Go ahead, Carolyn.
I was going to ask, what's the typical water temperature down there now?
You know, that's kind of funny, Carolyn, because some friends wanted me to go diving about a week ago, and I said, whoa, it's getting a little chilly for me. I'm a Florida girl, you know. The water temperature is about 79 degrees right now, 79, 80 degrees. And that may sound warm to you guys, but when you're used to being 80
that's not warm
to 90,
to the body, no.
Oh, no. We're used to the water down here being like bath water. Sometimes in the summertime, it'll get so warm, especially on Bayside where it's really, really shallow. You'll get water up into the 90s easy. Yeah. But it's so people complain it's not refreshing. Well, I personally think it's amazing. I mean, it's like the world's biggest bathtub, you know. But But my friends have been going diving because the clarity of the water, when it's really, really warm, you get a lot of little microparticles in the water, a lot of growth, a lot of algae, a lot of different things that will cloud up the water for your view of diving. When the water cools off like this, the water gets extremely clear, even at serious depth. You know, even at 100 foot, it's perfectly clear and beautiful. And so, yeah, my friends have all been diving, and I haven't had the guts to put my little wetsuit on and go ahead and take the plunge.
Do some snorkeling. I want to ask you about because I hear a lot about lionfish. Do you ever catch lionfish?
You know, I've never caught one on a hook and the lionfish are a real problem down here, and you see them when you're snorkeling the reefs. You can see them a lot, but you see a lot less now than you did 6 or 8 years ago. There's some really great efforts. Lionfish are invasive species. They do not belong. The way I understand it, for the most part, people wanted them for their saltwater aquariums because they're so beautiful, but they're extremely poisonous with all those tendrils. They have little spikes on every single one, and they're poisonous. So they would end up, their other aquarium fish that saltwater fish cost a lot of money. So you can't return them to the store. So what do? You don't want to kill them. You set them free. And understand that's how we came about this problem. But they have even lionfish derbies down here. People spearfish for them, and I've even heard that people eat them.
Yeah, I heard they're very good eating.
A little chewy, but you know. But they spearfish for them, and they actually have lionfish derbies down here where they are having a contest, just like a fishing tournament. But it's how many fish you can spear, and that does great things for eliminating them out of our ecosystem that they're hurting. So the lionfish, I don't see them very much anymore. You will see them, but they're not as plentiful as they used to be, thank goodness, because they are one of those species we're trying to get rid of.
I've seen all the videos of people spearing them. I was just wondering if you catch them with a hook, because I never see anybody catching them with a hook.
Yeah, I've never caught one on a hook and line. I've never heard of anyone catching them on a hook and line. But fish that normally would not, bite a hook and line occasionally do. So I'm not saying it's out of the question.
I'm just generally speaking, I was curious from all the fishing that you do down there, because I know that again, it's an invasive species, and they've overtaken some of the reefs along our coast here, and it's good to hear that they're decreasing down there, because they really are bad news for everybody, for everything. Nobody wins with them guys.
And they have seriously out here. So I commend everyone's efforts to eradicate those things. They definitely are no good for our ecosystem, and they're really bad for our reef.
What about those, Angelia, do you see down there any of those huge Asian invasive shrimp that are coming around? They're almost like the size of a dinner plate.
I've not, and I heard about them recently and did a little research, and I've not seen any of them, thank goodness. And I've spent quite a lot of time snorkeling the reef, but I have not seen any of them, thank goodness. You'll see some really interesting stuff down there, but I've not seen any of those shrimp, Carolyn.
I didn't even heard of that. Wow.
Yeah, Rascala, they're about the size of a dinner plate. They're 6 inches to 10 inches, something like that.
Wow.
And it's the same kind of thing. People got them and didn't realize they were getting big and released them, and now I think you can go after those as well. I'm not sure if they're good to eat or not, but if you look up the invasive shrimp, they're going around the Gulf of Mexico and down in Florida now.
And they're called invasive shrimp? That's what they're called?
They're called giant tiger prawns.
Giant tiger. Okay, I'm going to go look them up. First I've heard of it.
Yeah. If you look,
they should be somewhat similar to our lobster, like a small Florida lobster. Without the antennas, of course, but they should be somewhat similar to that from what I've read up.
Yeah, they're pretty big.
Wow. That's, again, one of the reasons I love doing this show is I'm constantly learning. I had no idea this was going on. I knew about the lionfish, because that you have to be sleeping under a rock, so to speak, to not know about them. But so I wonder if that's we were down in the long time ago, many, many years ago, we were down in the Keys, and I want to call it, it's politically wrong name, but I don't know what the name of it is now. It used to be called Jewfish Creek. They changed it to something else. But we were down, there's a canal there it's like cut out of coral, literally cut out of coral. And we were at one end of that canal fishing, and these huge. I thought they were lobster at first. They were so big, but they were about the size of what you're describing. These things were a good 8, 9, maybe 10 inches. These things, something was chasing them. They're all coming out of the water. And at first I thought they were finger mullet. That's what it looked like to me. There was so much going on. But when I looked closer, it was these huge shrimp. I wonder if that's what I saw. Giant tiger prawns. I have to go look that up.
Yeah,
Wow.
and I just shot you through a picture so you can take a peek. But yeah, there's one on a guy's forearm. It covers the whole thing.
Wow. So, well, if anybody's going to see one, it'd probably be Angelia, because she does some snorkeling. Yep. She's snorkeling down
I've
there.
been keeping my eyes peeled since I heard about them, and I just haven't spotted one. So I'm anxious to see what they look like, but they don't belong here at the same time.
Yeah.
So I really don't want to see them here. So, you know, it's one of those
That's understandable. I want to, but I don't want to. Yeah.
Exactly.
I can relate to that. Well, anything else you want to share with us, Angelia? I know, look, according to the map, the radar map, it is absolutely a gorgeous day today. Same thing for you down there?
It is so beautiful down here today. In fact, I'm going to run down to Bud & Mary's and meet Captain Deb. Her boat is in, and it's absolutely gorgeous. We finally have warmed up today, and yes, I'm a Florida girl. I'm a wimp when it gets cold, so had some days that didn't get above 70, and that's a little chilly for me. But today we're up to about 78 degrees. There's a few little spotty clouds, but the sun is beaming. The sky is blue. The water is nice. So yes, I'm going to get out there and see what's going on today and get out and get some sunshine, go see what Captain Deb brought in and see what kind of trouble we can stir up together.
You lucky thing.
Absolutely. Angelia, tell folks how to get a hold of you for charters, or if they need to get some fishing gear, some lures, things like that. We talked about that with Mike today. Tell everybody how to get a hold of you.
Absolutely, and I still have the lures available, and guys, they work. I make jokes and call them catching lures, but most of them are skirts for rigged ballyhoo while trolling. Do a few high-speed wahoo rigs as well, and then some little type of mahi lures as well too, all for trolling. But you can reach me on social media, always Florida Salty Cowgirl on Instagram or on Facebook. And I told everybody by the first of the year I should have my website back up. My fingers are crossed. It's in the works. So, yeah, pretty soon it'll be FloridaSaltyCowgirl.com as well. And I'll try to have a calendar so that people can see what dates are available.
Hot dog. Well, thank you, Miss Angelia. I greatly appreciate it. And today it's been a special treat for me having you on for the majority of the show and sharing with us. That's really, really special. I know it's one of those rare occasions because you're usually out doing something and you just don't have the time. So greatly appreciate it. Many, many thanks to you. Wish you an awesome day. Let Carolyn say goodbye to you.
Absolutely, Angelia. And you know what's so cool about today? Other than Mike, it was Ladies' Day. So
Oh, that's right.
cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Well, you know, I enjoy having the ladies on, and I support the ladies 110%. Anything I can do to help the ladies get out there, because it was my mom. I really think it was my mom, God bless her, that because she loved fishing so much that we did it so often. And because we did it so often, for me, in my experience, it was a vital component of holding the family together. So it's something I like promoting, and I learn, like I learned today, a couple of different things. And anyway, I appreciate all of you that listen in. And I didn't mention today, like I normally mention, we didn't take as many breaks today because we had so many interesting things happening. We usually take more breaks than we did today. But I didn't mention Atlas Trax. So I want to take a minute to mention Atlas Trax. You've heard me say many times, if you want to love what you if you want to protect what you love to the max, you got to talk to Carolyn at Atlas Trax. The reason I say that is Carolyn has a tracking system, among many other things, but the thing that I enjoy that kind of tickles me is the tracking system, a very portable, very easy-to-use tracking system. I think it's the easiest thing, easier than combing your hair, for Pete's sake. Tracking system, and you can find whatever it is. You put one of these trackers on whatever you have, whatever you want to keep track of, within 10 feet, anywhere on the planet. You can have one of these things on a boat. You can have it in your car. You could have it on anywhere. She has them on icebergs, for Pete's sake. So a wide variety of applications, but I just get a tickle out of it that you can stick this in your back pocket. God forbid you go out fishing and put this thing in your back pocket, because God forbid, you never know what can happen out there. Something does happen, you can be found pretty quick. And it's relatively, I don't know, Carolyn, is it actually waterproof or water resistant?
waterproof. Absolutely, it's waterproof. And we had a customer. I sent one to Dallas the other day because he was driving a boat all the way to the Keys, and he was worried about the boat on a trailer in the hotel parking lot. And he just got down here today. He loved it.
It's amazing technology, and in our day and age today, there's so many things that you can do. When you get in a car, you put a seatbelt on. Wow, you're not planning on getting into an accident, but God forbid if you do, you want to protect yourself in whatever way you can. Well, if you go out in a boat, you're not planning on anything happening bad, but it happens. It does happen, sadly, and this is one of the things you can do to protect yourself. Having one of these things on you, they can find you almost immediately. Anyway, we're out of time. Let me give Carolyn an opportunity to say goodbye, and we're going to get out of here. We'll be back in a week. Thank you, everyone, for listening in. Go ahead, Carolyn.
Safe week, tight lines, and see you next week.
All right, everybody. Thank you again. Greatly appreciate it. We'll be back in a week. So long.